Yes guys, what's up? So this is Sham from Be Real TV and I'm joined by my boy T Street Controversy Live with realcombatmedia.com. Today we're here to talk about Kell Brook, Jojo Dan. We're here to talk about Amir Khan, and yeah, there's even going to be a bit of Mayweather Pacquiao. And I'm telling you guys that this is all linked. All these fighters are all linked together. And what me and T Street are going to talk about today, we're going to go through all the different dynamics of what's happening with Mayweather Pacquiao, how that is having a direct impact on Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. I'm going to introduce it a little bit and T Street's going to take it away. First of all, I just want to say this out clear. Amir Khan and Kell Brook, both great fighters, both brilliant in their own rights, and I've got respect for both fighters. Me and T Street, we don't want to disrespect any of the fighters, but we just have to keep it real in this video, and we're going to try and explain everything you have not seen. I don't think you guys will have seen a video that's going to cover every single base point of why Amir Khan is not fighting Kell Brook. There's a lot of reasoning behind it, in our opinions, and we're gonna try and explain this to you. And so yeah, man, I just want to definitely say, since Kell Brook fought Sean Porter, he deserves all the credit because he went up to the US and fought like a man against a killer at the time, who was Sean Porter. Amir Khan has been around the scene for a very long time. Another great fighter, both great fighters. So, first of all, I just want to start off by saying this. There seems to be a lot out there that Amir Khan is afraid of Kell Brook. And we're both going to tell you this because me and T Street have talked about this in great depth. And as you guys know, T Street has criticised Amir, to put it lightly, a lot. And even he agrees on the things that I've said. And we're going to explain exactly why. The first things first, right? When you go up onto an elite level of boxing, and this is the mentality of every fighter in the world, whether you're a little kid or whether you're an amateur, and especially, like I said, the elite level, you're not afraid of a fighter. You might have a level of fear in you. Tyson used to say that, look, I'm scared, I was scared, and Tyson cried before his last fight. And I think that there will always be that in boxing, a level of fear, a level of an adrenaline rush, but it's all about controlling that fear. But the point I'm making is, to say that an elite fighter is scared of another elite fighter, I just don't think that's ever the case. I think what happens is, and I think that this was the case with Mayweather Pacquiao, even though people might disagree. I'm just giving you an example, but there are definitely cases of this repeated in other weight divisions, in other bouts. But I think Mayweather thinks to himself, look, Pacquiao, he's got good footwork, he's got a good left hand. Mayweather never thinks I'm gonna lose to Pacquiao. I don't think he thinks that. I don't think that goes through a fighter's head that I will lose. Mayweather thinks, yo, I'll beat this guy. But why not take on Saul Canelo Alvarez instead? Because he's a bit more flat-footed. Why not take on a Marcus Maidana? Because that's a lower risk fight. It's easier for me, and I'm gonna get paid a decent amount. So I think that's how fighters think. So I think everybody needs to get rid of this misconception that fighters are scared of one another. In a fighter, you can put Kell Brook in front of Tyson. When they get in that ring, they will fight. And you could put in anybody against... They're not scared. They will fight. A fighter's mentality is that they will fight anyone. They will fight anyone. A real fighter will fight anybody. And if you're on that elite level, including Ortiz, including anyone, they'll all fight anyone. But yeah, I'm going to pass it over to T Street right now. I just wanted to get that one thing out of the way, that Khan's not afraid of Brook. There's other reasons, right? But actually, before I give it to T Street, I want to say something else as well. And T Street's going to go over the political situation of what's going on with Khan and Brook and why Khan's not fighting him. T Street's definitely going to go into more depth about it. I'm going to say something else as well. You see, Amir Khan and Kell Brook have had a really rocky relationship for a very long time. Kell Brook has disrespected Amir a lot, okay? I think Amir Khan should fight Brook. I think it should definitely happen. I really want to see it happen. But you see, what I'm trying to explain, and what T Street's going to explain, is why this fight isn't happening. The realistic scenario. And the thing, in our opinion, is there's a few things which we both can't bring onto camera, but there's stuff that we can bring, and I'm going to say it like this. Look, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, Amir Khan doesn't want to give Kell Brook... T Street, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Amir Khan doesn't want to give Kell Brook a payday because without Amir Khan, Kell Brook struggles to make serious money because he's not going to get Mayweather Pacquiao, and T Street's going to explain why he doesn't get Mayweather Pacquiao next. Without Khan, Kell Brook has to fight the likes of Thurman, Rios, Marquez, and I think Kell Brook can beat them fighters, to be honest with you. Maybe Keith Thurman's a tosser, but I think he beats Marquez and Rios. Brook's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. He's proved himself against Porter. But he has to take a harder route, and he doesn't make that much money. Whereas if he fights Khan, he makes a huge sum of money, and his life is made. Now, would Amir Khan, you guys got a question, would Amir Khan want to make his enemy, like if you guys, I don't know if you've ever had a fight in your life, if you've ever had an enemy, your enemy and your arch rival, you hate that guy, you dislike him, you would not want to make his life, his family's life, his kids' life, just wouldn't want to do that. And I think that this is kind of the scenario what we're witnessing here, that Amir Khan doesn't want to make Kell Brook's life for him, like where, because Amir Khan can make 1 mil, 1.5 mil elsewhere, yeah, he'll make more for the Brook fight, and it will help increase his reputation. So, but because I think like with Amir Khan, with what's going on in his career currently, he's harming himself in terms of his reputation at the so that he doesn't make Kell Brook's life for him. That's what I personally feel it is. I've spoken to T Street like in depth about this, and he feels the same way, that after speaking to each other and really like putting all our ideas out there. So yeah, I just think like Amir Khan doesn't want to face Kell Brook, because as soon as he faces Brook makes a hell lot of money, as does Khan, but Brook makes a lot of money. Whereas if Kell Brook has to face Thurman, Rios, and these guys, you know, he's gonna get tested, and it's a difficult route. And I think like when you look at the records, no disrespect to Kell, I think that at a certain point with the Senchenko win, with the win against Porter definitely, and even Georgia Dan was a decent fight, and even Carlson Jones, who was ranked. I think with these fights, Kell Brook's he's come on the scene. And, you know, when you mix Matthew Hatton in there, and no disrespect to Matthew Hatton, but we know like Matthew Hatton's had a number of losses on his record against, you know, fighters with, 40-odd losses. So, Matthew Hatton, good fighter, but, you know, no disrespect to Kell. Kell beat him. No disrespect to Matthew Hatton. I don't want to give any fighter disrespect in this video, but I'm just saying it like it is. Apart from them fights, Kell Brook's not really faced, you know, elite top level opposition, and he has to, and I just don't think Khan wants to give Kell Brook that payday. And there's another thing, Mayweather, Pacquiao. Amir Khan is gunning for the Mayweather fight, because having spoken to Khan on numerous occasions, I can tell you guys this, the reason he wants to fight Mayweather is because he believes he can beat Mayweather, right? And whether he can or not, that's irrelevant. The point is he believes he can beat Floyd. He believes that. He believes his style is made for Floyd Mayweather, and he can beat Mayweather Jr. And that is the only fight that puts Amir Khan in the history books and eradicates all the past defeats and eradicates his everything if he can beat Floyd, right? That's what makes Amir Khan, if he could do that. And I think I've covered all bases now, so I think I am going to pass it to T Street, but I think just one final thing is this, right? Amir Khan wants that Mayweather fight more than anything, okay? You know, I don't think he wants anything else. And I'm going to pass it off to T Street, and T Street's going to go in depth about the political side. And T Street, because obviously I'm sounding like really biased right now, do you want to explain to these guys kind of a little bit more about what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to put across?
Yeah, definitely. First I want to say that you have to know who your belt holders are. You have to know what the main sanctioning bodies are, as far as the WBC, the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF. You have to know who the #1 contenders are, and you have to know how they got there. So what I'm going to talk about in the beginning of my segment is basically this. Amir Khan is the the WBC silver champion at 147 pounds. What that means is he's the mandatory since May the 3rd, 2014, after defeating Luis Collazo. He's the mandatory for the winner of Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao as far as the WBC is concerned. So once May 2nd, 2015 hits, what you'll have is you'll have 364 days that Amir Khan has not had his WBC title shot. Now follow me. I'm going somewhere with this. Let me tell you, just to educate you a little bit before I go back to Amir Khan, how the WBC has been working. The WBC, led by Mauricio Suleiman, has been making their mandatories. There's only been a few exceptions. T Street Controversy Live, know those exceptions. If I have time, I'll explain. But what I'll do is I'll say right now, The WBC heavyweight champion of the world is Deontay Wilder. Who is his mandatory? Well, his mandatory is Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings, who's going to be taking on Vladimir Dr. Steelhammer Klitschko on April the 25th. For the WBC silver, the WBO, WBA, IBF, and the IBO and ring heavyweight titles. Not going to spend too much time on that. After that, who's in line? Since Bryant Jennings is taking on Vladimir Klitschko for that mandatory challenger, now the WBC wants to make Mike Perez versus Alexander Povetkin to be the next in line. Now, I'm going to skip over the cruiserweight division. It's not that I don't know. It's just that I don't know how to pronounce their names correctly. So we'll go to the light heavyweight division. Now, I'm going somewhere. This is all going to lead all the way down to 147-pound division and Amir Khan and Kell Brook. You got, at the light heavyweight, you got Sergey Kovalev after defeating Jean Pascal, who's the WBC silver or WBC diamond, whatever they call it. But what that means is Sergey Kovalev now is the WBC silver or diamond. That makes him the #1 contender for for Jean Pascal's WBC title if he defeats Sakio Bika. The WBC has ordered that the winner of Sakio Bika and Adonis Stevenson face Sergey Kovalev no later this year for the WBC, WBO, IBF, WBA Super World, and the IBO and the ring light heavyweight championships in 168 pounds. Now, this is all boxing knowledge and education. Remember, I'm going to take you down to the 147-pound division, and then we're going to stop there and talk about Amir Khan. At 168, you had Anthony the Dog Durrell, who is the WBC 168-pound champion. Who is his mandatory? WBC silver George Groves, who defeated, if I'm correct, it was Christopher Rabras for that WBC silver. So he's the mandatory. Anthony the Dog Durrell is going to take on a voluntary in Badu Jack. Then he has to fight George Groves sometime this summer, late summer, or early fall of this year. 160 pounds. You should all know this. Miguel Cotto is the 160-pound recognized WBC lineal champion of the world. Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin, Triple G, is the WBC silver. Excuse me. He's a WBC interim. He beat former WBC silver champion Martin Murray. So what he did was he took out Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin, everyone, the top two guys that was in his way of fighting Miguel Cotto, and that was Marco Antonio Rubio, and that was Martin Murray, and next he's fighting like the number 4 guy, Willie Monroe. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that by now going to the 154, and guess what? That's one division before we get to Mr. Amir Khan. At 154. Now, I'm doing a public service to Amir Khan. I'm doing a public service to Amir Khan because why? I'm going to show you why he's supposed to be and why he will be the mandatory for the winner of Mayweather Pacquiao because of everything I just explained leading up to this point. Floyd Money Mayweather is the 154-pound WBC champion of the world. Anthony Mundine is the 154-pound WBC silver mandatory. We're going to skip right over that one, and guess what? We're going to go to Amir Khan. So you see where I was getting to. So, for example, right? Amir Khan is rumored to be facing Chris Algieri. If he's not facing Chris Algieri, Amir Khan is rumored to be returning May the 30th in New York. Who is he going to fight? We don't know. Fans are calling for Kell Brook. But as Be Real TV just explained, he explained a whole different aspect of why Amir Khan versus Kell Brook may or may not happen. I'm going to explain to you the political reason why Amir Khan has the upper hand. Now, Amir Khan having that WBC silver, as we explained, but let me explain once again, that makes him the mandatory for Floyd Mayweather's WBC coveted 147-pound title. Is Floyd Mayweather going to drop his title with one fight remaining on that Showtime contract? If he loses to Pacquiao, if he wins against Pacquiao, I think not. If Floyd Mayweather was to decide or Al Heyman. Now, Floyd Mayweather and Amir Khan are both advised. The only guy controlling their careers, or the only person controlling their careers basically, is themselves and Al Heyman. If Floyd Mayweather wants to fight Kell Brook, then Amir Khan can go to the WBC and say, yo, listen, it's been over a year now. I want my mandatory. You see where I'm going with this? So for fans to say, well, Floyd can just fight Amir Khan next and no, Floyd can fight Kell Brook after Pacquiao and be the undisputed champion. But guess what? Just as Be Real TV said, it's crazy that Amir Khan is in a situation where he has so much leverage over where Kell Brook goes next as far as that WBC silver mandatory is concerned. So, as Be Real was saying, I can totally see and understand why Amir Khan has so much control and allows what food goes on Kell Brook's table, what food goes on his plate. Because Kell Brook cannot get a Floyd Mayweather before an Amir Khan, period. And he has the title to prove so. So it's like this. If Floyd wants to go fight if Floyd wants to go fight Kell Brook, it's like Amir Khan can just say, okay, well, drop that WBC title. And Floyd will never do that. Now, if Kell Brook was to go fight Manny Pacquiao, if Pacquiao wins, it can likely happen. But guess what? Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao already met this year. So if Manny Pacquiao beats Floyd Mayweather and becomes the WBC, WBO, WBA Super World Ring recognized 147-pound champion, Amir Khan can say, let me get in on that. Let me get a shot. And Pacquiao would gladly fight him. So where does Kell Brook fit in? You know, and right now, we're going to go back to Be Real TV, and now we're going to open up the discussion. Because right now I'm thinking, well, options are not as plentiful for Kell Brook as fans think. And the reason why I say this is you got to educate yourself and you got to know how these sanctioning bodies work. Go ahead, Be Real.
Okay, so Kell Brook's next fights, right? No disrespect to Kell again. Look, since he beat Potter, before he beat Potter, I gave him full credit for taking the Potter fight. That alone for me did it. Just like Floyd Mayweather's taking the Pacquiao fight, I'm already giving him credit for it. But Kell Brook at the moment is limited in opponents. He's got some names there. There's Juan Manuel Marquez. But see, after the fight against Jojo Dan, Kell Brook's promoter, Eddie Hearn, excellent promoter in Britain, the #1 promoter in Britain. He's overtaking Frank Warren. Frank Warren's been brilliant, but I definitely think Matchroom Sports is doing brilliantly in boxing. Obviously, Frank Warren will always be there, but you know Eddie Hearn is doing a tremendous job. And I just think that currently at the moment, with Kell Brook's entire situation, what T Street's just explained to you, Kell Brook's options are not as strong as you might think, because although he is with Matchroom and he can fight any fighter on both sides of the pond, the split with what's going on in the US with Al Heyman, Golden Boy, and Top Rank, and
yeah, there's no politics involved with who Kell Brook can fight realistically. There's no real major politics involved.
Yeah, so obviously Eddie Hearn's called out the following names right by name after the fight. He said Amir Khan, and in fact, let's just go to Kell Brook. Kell Brook said, who do you guys want me to fight? Do you want me to fight Amir Khan? Yeah, everybody went crazy. Marquez, still. Thurman, still. But then the final name that was named was Brandon Rios. Now, Brandon Rios, okay, I've got interest in Brandon Rios because Brandon Rios, to me, I can get interviews when I want with Brandon. Brandon's such a cool guy, such a cool cat, and I've got a lot of love for the entire Robert Garcia Academy. But to me, Brandon Rios is easy work for Kell Brook, and that's credit to Kell Brook. But the point is, stylistically, I personally think Brandon Rios is easy work for Kell Brook. I don't think Kell Brook is going to fight the likes of Thurman. I don't think that fight's going to happen. You see, they're calling out Thurman and they're calling out Amir, but I think what's more realistic for Kell Brook at this moment in time is Marquez and Brandon Rios. And they're the fights that I think they're trying to make. And Marquez is a brilliant fight. Rios is a backup plan, I feel, but I think Marquez is the fight what potentially Kell Brook is going to have next. And I think Kell Brook can beat Marquez. And that's saying something about Kell Brook as a fighter if I'm saying that he can beat a legend like Juan Manuel Marquez. But the whole point that T Street's making is Amir Khan ducking Kell Brook. gonna say it like this. Yeah, Amir Khan is ducking Kell Brook, but is he ducking him because he's scared of him?
It's deeper. It's good now that me and Be Real TV have this collaboration along with Real Combat Media, because sharing information and the wealth of information that we can share with each other from Be Real TV actually having access to Amir Khan and me. I'm like, understand this. You know, it's the best way, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat the shit. I have a better understanding from inside knowledge of what's going on with the situation. So yes, I want Amir Khan to fight Kell Brook, but at the same time, me knowing what's going on with the organizations and me knowing, you know, that these guys have real, genuine bad blood, and understand that if Amir Khan was to fight Kell Brook, he would be making Kell Brook a millionaire. You know, it's so much involved. A lot of people don't know that when it comes to Kell Brook, those events are sold out and filled up. But yet, how much do the tickets cost? And those are the questions that you have to ask yourself as fans when you start to say, well, is this fighter ducking this fighter? If you notice, me, I don't really, if you notice, and if you've been following me, I don't say fighters are really ducking fighters, you know, like I used to, you know, because I know there's always something deeper in it. And plus, I understand the politics. Now, when it comes to something like Sergey Kovalev versus Donna Stevenson, then, you know, that's a different situation. We can say now, because I've said in the past, and I've been very, listen, let's not bullshit around. I've been very critical of Amir Khan, but if you know me and if you've been following me, I give credit where credit is due. He looked fabulous against Devin Alexander. He looked fabulous. I wasn't too impressed, you know, with Luis Collazo. Of course, I wasn't impressed with Julio Diaz. Yes, I want to see him fight tougher opposition, but me, as a boxing fan and knowing how the business works, I know and see exactly what he's doing. So if he does fight a guy like Chris Algieri, why is he doing it? The reason he is doing it is because, well, Chris Algieri fought Pacquiao. Amir Khan, in his mind, probably feels if I knock, Pacquiao knocked Chris Algieri down 6 times, but if I knock Chris Algieri out, then I'll be doing one up on Pacquiao. And already, Amir Khan's probably thinking he's got that WBC 147-pound #1 contender. So no matter what you say, it's not, no one's talking about it, but on paper, as I explained to you early in the video, Amir Khan is the mandatory for Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. He's the mandatory, you know, and nobody will tell you that. You know, because you should know that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like this, okay. What we condone and what we don't condone is that's not what this video is about. We're not condoning anything that Kell Brook, who he's fighting, Amir Khan, who he's fighting, Mayweather, who he's gonna fight, whoever, Pacquiao. We're just telling you guys how it is and what's, you know, what actually is going on in our opinions. And obviously, we do have some inside access. I'm going to say straight, I haven't spoken to Khan's camp in ages, so I've got but I do know that Khan ain't scared of Brook. I know that. And T Street knows, you know, the entire politics. And as we discuss things, like, off camera, we begin to, like, tie, because I've got a bit of inside information about stuff, and as we tie things together, we start to see where things are going, and then we decide, yeah, well, let's do this video, let's put it out to everyone how it actually is. But I also think that with Amir Khan fighting Chris Algieri, I think it's going to hurt his brand more than it's going to benefit him. Because if he does fight Chris Algieri, I can't see where the benefit comes. I just think it's a lose-lose situation, because even if he whoops Chris Algieri, yeah, it'll be good for the highlights reel, but I can't see how Chris Algieri poses any threat to Amir. I don't think Chris Algieri poses any threat to Amir. I think Amir Khan makes easy work of him. And again, that's credit to Amir being a good boxer. Just like it's credit to Kell Brook being a good boxer for, in my opinion, making easy work of Rios. And I think he could beat Marquez as well, but I don't think that'll be easy work. But I think Amir makes easy work of Chris Algieri. I think a mid-level fight, a Kell Brook versus Marquez for Amir Khan, would be Amir Khan versus Bradley. But then you see where the problem comes. Al Heyman has an issue with this politics, and this is where it comes in. Like, so you have Timothy Bradley, we've got Marquez. The issues. Maidan, I heard, is getting married and he is way out of shape. That fight cannot happen, otherwise I think that's a brilliant fight. And then you have to question Thurman versus Amir Khan. Now, Al Heyman, I'm going to let T Street talk about Keith Thurman versus Amir Khan. Like, we're not even going to talk about what happens in the fight, but what we are going to talk about, and what I'm going to pass on to T Street, is Amir Khan versus Keith Thurman. Why that fight won't happen.
Yeah, that's big news.
What I'm going to do now for you is we're actually going to, courtesy of Showtime Championship Boxing, we're actually going to listen to the post-fight interview of Kell Brook. Well, from Kell Brook after he defeated Jojo Dan. This is a treat for you guys. Let me turn the volume up.
Yo, T-shirt.
Maybe Amir Khan down the line. Whatever. Big things, 100% guaranteed for Kell Brook. Let's go and hear from him with Ed Robinson.
Kell, congratulations, still IBF champion, multiple knockdowns, very impressive. Was that the perfect homecoming for you?
I truly amazing to walk out in front of all my fans. You know, I didn't think I'd ever box again, and here I am filling in arenas. You know, it's words I can't put into words how much it means to me to be back defending my world title. It means everything to me.
It must have been a very emotional ring walk for you, just preparing backstage and then coming out there to this.
Yeah, it was. You know, it were hard. You know, there holding it together, seeing everyone on the phones, and you know, I just felt like this is where I belong. And you know, I'm sorry that I've kept you waiting, but I hope that you've had a good night and you've enjoyed World Championship boxing. I'm back, baby.
Jojo Dan was your mandatory. He came to fight, gave it a go, but ultimately he was outclassed.
Yeah, what a heart though. Caught it with some good clean shots. You know, he kept getting back up. You know, I've been out for a while. You know, first time, you know, with the leg. You know, you're seeing little bits of greatness in there at times, but there's much more to come from me. You know, that was just to knock cobwebs off. I'm gonna be back out in June in a massive fight. I'm back.
How did the leg feel?
My leg feels fine. My leg feels as good as the other leg. There's not a problem with the leg.
You say you're going to be out in June. Who are you targeting? Because I know you're going out to watch the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, but also there's
listen carefully.
As well.
Who did everyone want me to fight? Did they want me to fight Khan? Marquez, Brandon Rios, bring them on, our world champion. I just want to entertain all y'all guys.
Let's bring in your promoter, Eddie Hearn. A great performance this evening, but there's more to come, obviously. Who do you want to match him with next?
Well, listen, there's a little venue available on June the 13th. If Amir Khan's watching, give everyone what they want.
We're talking about Wembley.
Everybody wants that. Amir Khan hasn't got an opponent. You know, he's talking about fighters that are much lesser scale than Kell Brook. It's the biggest payday of his career. It's the biggest payday available. It's for a world title. Who wants to see Brook v Khan?
Kell, do you have a message for Amir Khan?
If you're watching, come on, get in here with me. You know, I know you're delicate around whiskers. I'll take you out.
Try and put into words how much you've enjoyed this occasion, considering everything you've been through over the last 7 months.
Let me just tell you, I come from a rough neck of woods. I'm just a council estate kid, and now I'm world champion. You know, packing out arenas like this. You know, airs, I'm you know, emotions, unbelievable, goosebumps. You know, I've made it. I've come from bottom, and I'm at the top now.
It's been a crazy 7 months, though, hasn't it? Did you really think your career was over at one stage?
I didn't think I'd ever walk again, never mind box again, and here I am now defending my world title in style. You know, I've been given a second chance.
The best is.
I'm gonna stop right there. As you can see, it's funny that he actually didn't mention Keith Thurman, and let's talk about that a little bit. What I'm gonna say about that is, listen, the Keith Thurman fight. Eddie Hearn, courtesy of B Real TV, did an interview with Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn himself said that they want the fight. We want the fight. It's all about if they want it over. I mean, it's all about, you know, if it's going to be in the United States. They want it over there. We want it over here, meaning they want it over in the UK. But here is where things get interesting. Is Kell Brook ready for Keith Thurman? That's where I do not agree. I do not believe he is ready for Keith Thurman. Can it happen? Politically, there's nothing stopping it from happening. And it's about time. It's about time that Keith Thurman get a world title. But if Amir Khan versus Kell Brook is not going to happen right now, and also in that same interview, Eddie Hearn did say that Team Heyman and Khan's team said that the Kell Brook fight will happen. But the question is, when will it happen? And that's the question we're asking ourselves. But you know, we have about 5 minutes or so left. Let me say this. Let me say this. Just 1 minute saying this. I feel that go after Keith Thurman. You know, go after Keith Thurman next. Keith Thurman is supposed to be returning in the summer too. I say Kell Brook versus Keith Thurman, and if that fight happens, then the winner of that will be rivaling Amir Khan. And Amir Khan, realistically, all he has right now, which is big, it's the golden ticket, the winner of Mayweather Pacquiao. But as far as Amir Khan versus Kell Brook is concerned, I have a better understanding. Yes, I want Amir Khan to fight Kell Brook. Yes. But at the same time, looking at the political situation, you know, and he is literally beefing, you know, he has legitimate, you know, I don't know if it's legitimate, but they have issues in the real world outside of the ring. I don't know how big they are. Be able to elaborate more on that, but it's a lot more, you know, than I guess just say ducking, if it makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong. Amir Khan should fight him regardless, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that because I know I'm going to keep, you know, confusing myself and confusing you. But that's the thing. When I'm saying, listen.
Yeah, I think
if Khan fight Chris Algieri, right? Then Khan has to say Khan has to say at the press conference and let it be known throughout the promotion of the Chris Algieri fight that this is just a tune-up for Kell Brook. He has to let that be known, you know. But at the same time, he knows that if he fights in May, he'll also have that chance at Mayweather. So it's like, when will he fight Kell Brook? When?
Okay, so another thing is, yeah, look, I'm just going to wrap it up like this, right? Amir Khan in the recent interview said, it's because of Ramadan I'm not fighting Brook. You know, the bottom line is this, yeah? Amir Khan, you want to call it ducking? Let's call it ducking. Amir Khan is ducking Kell Brook. Is he ducking him because he's scared of him? No, that's not it. Is he ducking because he thinks he's going to lose? No. He's ducking Kell Brook because of the reason that he doesn't want to make Kell Brook's career for him, because he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. really badly, and he's got control of the entire situation, even though Kell Brook holds the IBF world title. And whether you like it or not, that's the situation. And you know what? This is what boxing has become. It is a business now. I would like to see the 147 division unified. Who will unify it? You know, let's see. Let's take a look, see. But, you know, with all the situation, everything that's going on, this is the realistic thing. Amir Khan ain't scared of no one. That's the bottom line. Amir Khan isn't scared of anyone. Amir Khan is not ducking anyone. The bottom line is, look, Keith Thurman and Amir Khan is not happening. Al Haymon would never put his cash cow, who is Amir Khan, he can generate money. He generates views on Showtime and the UK in Box Nation. He generates money. He will not put his cash cow in with his biggest prospect in Keith Thurman. Haymon might do it later, but he's not going to do it right now. And then as far as the Brook fight goes, we've just gone in extreme depth. If you guys, people want to hate and say, you know, ludicrous things, do it. Dislike the video. But this is the truth. We're both being honest, and this is exactly how we see it. Amir Khan facing Chris Algieri is a warm-up for Mayweather. So guys, look, man, this is it. This is what's going on with the 147 division at the moment. It's all tied together with Al Haymon controlling the sport of boxing. It's all tied in with Amir Khan, Kell Brook, Mayweather, Pacquiao. Everything is going hand in hand and turning out as it's planned to be. Whoever Amir Khan faces next, whether it's Cotto, whether it's Algieri, you know, people said that Khan was scared of and ducking Devon Alexander. That turned out to be a bit of a joke. So, no, guys, just understand that this is a business. Understand how it works. Comment section below. Subscribe as always. Make sure you subscribe to BeReal TV. And please make sure you subscribe to T Street Controversy Live in conjunction with RealCombatMedia.com. And in a bit, guys.